In this video, I will show you the best tool that you can use to spy on your competitors' keywords, and then show you 4 ways that you can put this data to best use. Keep watching. If you're new to this channel, welcome. If this kind of information and content is something that you are interested in, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you are notified every time I upload new videos. And I plan to release a lot of these in-depth videos that really provide value to people who sell on Amazon in particular, but also for anyone who is on the entrepreneurial path and wants to own their own e-commerce or online business. So let's get right to this video. I have Amazon pulled up already because I'll be doing some very practical things here. So as I said at the beginning of this video, I will show you the #1 tool I think right now that's out there that you can use to spy on your competitors' keywords. Now, in previous videos, I have talked about how important product research is. And so this is in keeping with that whole attitude and mindset of doing the real rigorous and in-depth work and research that needs to be done in order for you to give yourself the best chance of being successful on Amazon with whatever product that you sell. And so in keeping with that theme, why would you want to do why would you want to spy on your competitors' keywords? To give yourself an advantage, right? Because the more information you have, it's the better decisions and choices that you can make regarding your product and your listing. And so you spy on your competitors' keywords to know what keywords they are ranking for, to know or to have an idea of what keywords are potentially driving the most sales for that seller, for that given product. In the past, there have been other tools out there that people have recommended, like Reverse ASIN, and I think there's some other Chrome extensions that exist out there even today. But I believe the best one that's out there is Helium 10's Cerebro. Now, I've used this. The first time I used this, which was a few months ago, I was very intrigued and amazed at the same time at the wealth of information and data that they were able to pull back for the product I was researching. I had no idea that those keywords were related to the product I was selling. So it was really an eye-opener for me, and I kind of kept on using it because it's very valuable, and I think it provides a lot of information that you can use to drive additional sales to your product, as well as to know which keywords to really target and to push additional sales for. So let's say you've sourced your product, you found it, maybe it's on its way to Amazon. Now you have to worry about listing your product, optimizing that listing, and setting up all the infrastructure in place in terms of your back-end keywords, your front-end keywords, and getting ready for PPC. And the example I'm using here is this hair wax removal kit. So what I normally do is I go on first page and take the top sellers who are on page 1. I'll normally take one that's been there for a long time, given the number of reviews that this seller has, and I'll use that and run it in Helium 10's Cerebro and just hit reverse search. Now, I'm not sure if they support other Amazon. Oh yes, they do. Looks like they support at least the major Amazon marketplaces. So there's a wealth of information here, and I'll do my best to kind of go slowly through as much as as much of this as possible in as short a time as possible. So what we see here is there are already some filters that we can use to kind of be more focused on what we're looking for. So we could narrow this list by quite a lot more if we wanted to, but one of the first things I do is I sort. So I think the default sort, I'm not sure what the default sort order or the default sorting column is for this. Doesn't really jump out at me. Might be relevance, but anyways, what I normally do first of all is to sort by exact phrase search volume, because this will give me the most targeted keywords that have the most search volume. So once I do that, I don't do broad because I think exact provides a lot more value than broad. So once I search by exact phrase search volume, I have an in order of search volume, the keywords that I can potentially go after once I launch my product, or if it's an existing product already, keywords that I can add to my chest of words. So so we see here waxing kit, wax warmer, wax beans, hard wax beans, hair wax. So all of these things. The other columns to pay attention to include this Cerebro IQ score, and I believe this is derived from a correlation of search volume to competition. Search volume, competition, and I think relevance. Well, let's see what it says. That was just off the top of my head from my experience. So Cerebro IQ score is an internal score we give to keywords to show the ratio between search volume and competition. So I was quite spot on with with my understanding of this, right? Search volume and competition, right? A higher score means there is a good ratio of low competition to high search volume. And the more competition there is for this keyword phrase, the lower the score. So, so waxing kit, that's a good one for this one. Okay, so let's just scan across these other columns. So sponsors, ASINs, this has to do with the number of sellers who are running PPC for this specific keyword. Headline ASIN, same thing, the number of sellers who are running headline ads for the given keyword. And then this competing product shows the number of sellers who are selling the product and targeting this given keyword. CPR, total giveaways. I forgot what CPR means. Okay, CPR stands for Cerebro Product Rank. So it's basically giving you a hard and fast number that you can use to run giveaways over 8 days, and that will, they say guarantee, but will get you pretty close to ranking number one on page one for that given keyword. So it's very interesting. So look at this. For waxing kit, if you wanted to rank on page one for waxing kit, probably page one, number one, they are suggesting that you give away 768 units over 8 days, and that works out to be 96 units per day. So that's quite the competitive landscape for that. So that's an idea, right? And there's a lot of phrases that come back for this, and these are phrases that off the top of your head you would not even consider. You wouldn't even remotely consider those keywords if you didn't have this tool. So it's a very powerful tool. These companies and these software services, they don't tell you exactly how their tools work, but coming from a software engineering background, I have a pretty good idea of how they do it. For example, it's my guess that they either scrape the listings on Amazon or they utilize Amazon's own APIs. But basically, by scraping the listings, and the search results, they can see that, hey, on page 1 or for this given keyword, if we search for this keyword, these are the products that show up, and then these are the phrases that are contained within those products on those search result pages. And from that they can extrapolate and say, these are the number of sellers we found, and this is the number of occurrences of this particular keyword, and based on that they can factor that into some algorithm and give it some sort of a weighting or score. So in many instances it can be arbitrary, but as long as that arbitrariness is uniform against the entire set of products that they found and keywords, then it makes sense to follow these numbers. So hope that made sense to you, right? Because every software provider or every service out there can say, hey, we have this IQ score, or we have this seller score or product score or keyword score. They can make that number up, pull that number out of thin air. But if there is some very consistent way that they applied that scoring to all the products and all the keywords, then in a sense, in a way, it makes sense to kind of follow what they are suggesting, or follow the data that they are providing. The point here is that it's just a tool. It's one more tool in your toolbox, right? It's one more tool in your arsenal that you can use to empower yourself, to make yourself more knowledgeable, and in turn help you to make better business decisions, better business choices, better choices about what keywords to go after when you launch your product, and where to best spend your money. Right, so don't forget that, right? These tools are just there to help us, to assist us, right? They're not there for us to just rely on them 100%, right? You use this information to help you make better decisions. So that's quite a mouthful, and I hope it's making sense to you. So this is what you do, right? Once you have this product that you are launching or that you're selling on Amazon, you use this Cerebro tool to find keywords. Now I'll talk about 4 things or 4 ways that you can use this data to your advantage. And the first way is obvious, right? Your listing, right? You find and you won't just do this on one product. You might do it on 3, 4, 5 products, right? From 5 different sellers. And you can always export the list, or you can always save this list or export it to an Excel spreadsheet and kind of sort or dedupe. I'm sure there's also a deduping feature in Helium 10, but that's for another video. But you find the best set of keywords across different sellers, and you use that to help formulate your listing, right? You pick out the best keywords, the most valuable keywords, and of course it has to be relevant to your product. So you won't just arbitrarily pick bay wax and put it in your product listing because it showed up here. No, it has to make sense. Not just because it shows up here you have to use it in your listing, but it has to make sense in your listing. So you can use that data to inform or to prioritize the phrases and words that you use in your title. And again, just by search engine optimization and the fact that Amazon's platform is a search engine, you can use that data to kind of prioritize where you put your most valuable keywords, right? So the strongest keywords will go in your title, and even the order in which you put those keywords in your title have an impact on weighting, right? So use this data to help build your title, same thing for your bullet points, and also for your description. So that's the first way. The second way is for your backend keywords, right? Because there's a limited amount of words and text that you can use on your front end in your listing, and same thing with the backend. The backend even has far less, but again, using a tool like Cerebro, you can know which keywords have the highest value, and those are the keywords that you will put in your backend. Right, so that's the second thing. The third thing is for PPC. So remember, this tool gave us maybe hundreds of phrases that are relevant for this product, right? Not all of those phrases will fit in your listing or your backend, and so PPC is another place that we can put those words. Now, it's not exclusive. Those three places I've mentioned so far are not exclusive to each other, right? You can repeat those words. I don't think it hurts, but certainly for PPC, you can always duplicate the words that are in your listing, those high value words or keywords in your listing and backend in your PPC campaigns. And of course, for words that, and again, this is a pro tip for words that are banned by Amazon. You know, if you sell certain products and there are certain words that you cannot use in your listing, then the PPC is one place that you can use those words. But again, you have to be very careful, read Amazon's terms of service and make sure that you are educated and knowledgeable about, Amazon's terms of service as a whole. Let's see, the next thing. Right, so for PPC, you want to be as strategic as possible with PPC. So it's the same methodology that you use, right? In picking the most valuable keywords for your backend and your listing. You do the same thing with your PPC, and you can also be as creative as you want to be. So you might find, let's say you sorted this by Cerebro IQ score, where you want the words with the highest IQ score. That means lowest competition. You can have a PPC campaign that utilizes those words, right? Those are words that you might not have added to your listing in any way. You can target those in PPC. And the fourth way that you can utilize this data, is by using it in your launch plan, right? Very straightforward. Because when you launch a product, right, you have to set a budget, and you can use this data to guide you to determine where should I put my money, right? If I'm running a giveaway, which keywords should I target, right? If you're doing, let's say, your PPC campaign, and so this kind of circles back to all the different ways that you can use this data. This is like summing up everything, right? Because launching is a huge part of your product, right? Those first 14 days can make or break your product on Amazon, and so use this data to guide, where you spend your money, to guide which keywords to go after, and which phrases, which keywords will give you the highest return for your investment. So so that's pretty much all I had to say on this topic. Remember, the tools are just there as an aid, right? You shouldn't rely on tools to determine and to solve all your problems, right? You use it to help you, right? It's an additional thing that you can use in your business. Now, of course, here's a good thing about Helium 10, right? If you don't want to spend $99 or $97 per month for their package, and they have many tools, right? Many tools. In fact, they're adding features to this all the time, and You know, I use other tools like Viral Launch and, you know, other tools, but I use Helium 10 because they have so many other features that other standalone software and even software like or software suites like Viral Launch doesn't have some of these features, like Keyword Tracker. That's pretty good, and you know, quite a few others. But if you don't want to sign up for a subscription, Cerebro is free for 2 searches per day. And that means you can do 60 searches for the month for free on Helium 10. So, you know, just sign up, give it a try. You don't even have to add a credit card, I don't believe, to try out or use Cerebro. So give that a try, whether you are launching a new product or you already have existing products. I think you will definitely find a lot of benefits in using Cerebro. So go ahead and do that. I'll leave a link down in the description to Cerebro. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you got a lot of value from it, and I'll see you in the next one.